And I wanted you to just marinate and begin to think about the definition of what consciousness means to you. And so, very logically, you might be scanning or going through the words already in your mind as a definition. And then I want you to try and see if you can place what consciousness means in your body in terms of a state or feeling. Please start with this as we begin to open our practice. Now that you have begun by lightly planting the seed around the aspect of consciousness as a term and what consciousness might mean as a feeling in the state of the body, I'm going to ask you a question. With what you know as consciousness, are you living your life consciously? And today your answer will lie within your practice and how you move on your mat and how you give yourself permission to connect your mind with your body in order to elevate the two together as a greater way of being, as a way of living more consciously. And when we can do that, what is physically happening is the energy within the body, the vibrations of your cells are being lifted up. And when your vibration is strong and at a high frequency, it can start to attract, more the word manifest, the things that you wish to occur in your life. And so you might be familiar a lot with visualizations and affirmations, and those will hold true in a part of value. But today I'm asking us to invite the intent around letting ourselves be more conscious so that we can live more consciously, and then living more consciously as that result, being able to elevate the vibrations so that we live our truest and best life. So hold that sacred as you bring your hands and palms together, and let this be the intent today for you, and let the intention be more clear within your own and personal words. And last week we had ended by sounding Om, and this week we're going to start by sounding Om, and then we're likely going to close as well, so that we begin by sending that conscious attention into the body through the vibration of sound. So please feel welcome to get as vocal as you like. And the sound of Om, which was believed to be the sound that was created in the universe and the world, that connected us all as soulful beings. And so the pronunciation is Om, A-U-M, with a slight enunciation on the U. And just let yourself feel the sound and the vibration in your body. Let's start with a cleansing breath together. So you're going to take a deep breath in through your nose. Wide open mouth, exhale. And let's inhale to 3 sounds of Om. Maybe use this practice tonight of yoga on our mat to start to connect our mind and body more closely together in order to elevate this great thing called consciousness. Furthermore, elevating a higher state within our life. Arms by your side, lift the chin, open your eyes. So our movements today, and let's start with shoulders. might feel a little challenging. They might even feel fast, or maybe they are even slow. It'll be dependent on where you're at in the state of the body and its conscious form. Roll the head a little, just kind of get in with some smaller and more comfortable gestures before we start to stir that the challenge of conscious attention. Then come to forward fold at the top of your mat, bow over your legs, and take your first favorite expression in fold. So that might be hands in behind. You might grab onto the elbows. If you're looking for more opening in the chest and heart, you can interlace your fingers. And you're going to start with 5 deep breaths here in your body. Noticing already how you've made that conscious choice, the decision to arrive in this form of your body, in this shape, in this way. And so if we say to ourselves, well, I want to live a more conscious life, being really happy. I want to be vibrating in a happy, positive tone the majority of my life. Then we need to start bringing in that state of consciousness of happiness into the body with memory and with feeling. And then our body starts to vibrate and gets more in tuned like a musical instrument and begins to be more familiar with the melody and the tone, so that you start vibrating more consciously, more positively, if that's your intention, more naturally and more organically and more often in your life. Release the hands and palms from your body, from your sides. Inhale, rise, halfway lift. Exhale, bow, forward fold. 2 more times with breath. Inhale, really lengthening the spine, tail to crown. Exhale, bowing in, forward fold. 1 more time, inhale, halfway raise. And then exhale, soft and humble bow back into your body. Take a moment of gratitude just to bless your being for everything that it is in the here and now. And then rising with the here and now, state of consciousness, ragdolling up to stand, feeling every part of your body that takes you up to mountain. And when you stand in mountain, stand with a fullness under your feet, with an awareness that the earth is below your mat and below the floor and below the ground. Turn the palms forward, spread your fingers nice and wide. And we'll begin together with 3 sun salutations A, really feeling for the details of the movement through your breath. So at the top of the mat, if you're not already, big inhale, arms stretch, reach up. Exhale, bow, forward fold. Inhale, rise, halfway lift and lengthen. Exhale, place the hands and palms to your mat, step back, high plank. Take the variations and modifications that you need in this sequence and continue to flow with your breath. Inhale here, belly tones. Exhale, bend the elbows, lower down. Inhale, rise to your back bend that's safe for your spine. Low cobra or upward dog is an offering. Exhale, roll over your feet, downward facing dog. And just let yourself chill out here. 5 deep breaths. Maybe you invite some movement and you sway the hips or the head or lower the heels down. And if you ever find that your mat is slipping away from you, you can always take the edges and do just a light grip of support. But just make sure you're keeping the shoulders back and not creating more tension or unnecessary tension in the body. Drawing and breathing up toward the 5th breath here. Bend the knees a little, look forward, and then maybe you hop to the front, or at least take a few steps closer so that you're at the front of your mat again. Inhale, rise, halfway lift, recovering through the breath as you lengthen. Exhale, bow, forward fold, surrendering. Taking that internal awareness and consciousness back inside to you so that you continue to remember that you're doing this practice for you as a being. Rise on up to stand. Inhale, arms high. 2nd one, exhale, bow, forward fold. Inhale, rise, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. If it feels slow, lengthen your breath more. Exhale, step back, high plank. Inhale, belly tones. Exhale, slowly lower. Inhale, long breath, rise. Really delay the opening of the shoulders and the chest. Exhale, roll over your feet. Downward facing dog.
And 5 breaths once again. Same shape, same quantity of breath, new sense of quality while you're moving the energy. What is the state of your being now? What is a memory of something that you wish the state of the body to vibrate along with its frequency? Bend the knees graciously, look forward, take that big leap of faith, top of the mat. Inhale, rise, halfway lift and lengthen. Exhale, fold. Rise on up to stand, third one, last one. With intention, with meaning, and with lots of breath. All right, go for it here. I'll demo up front, but I'll stay silent. You enjoy the sound of your own breath. We'll meet in downward dog. Redefine and revisit the term of consciousness and see if maybe now it can be better placed in your body after first couple of movements. Inhale the right leg up toward the sky. Exhale, place the foot forward in between your hands. Left fingertips tent up, thumb points to the front in order to bring the shoulder back and give the chest space. Take a deep breath in and then reach your right arm up toward the sky. Keep inhaling as you extend that line of energy from fingertip to fingertip. Be kind to the neckline, soften the ear toward the right shoulder and then lean back a little. Exhale, right hand comes down to the floor. You're going to keep the distance between your feet, a long stance. But just try straightening the right leg. You can bend the back left knee, heel can lift, and bow over the right side. Let's do that again, but come straight forward into that lunge. Hands can be on fingertips or on blocks if the floor is a far distance away. And then exhale, fold over the right side leg. Can you exaggerate the breath and let that be more of the primary mover versus the movement in your body that you think you have to do? And you start toning and creating the essence of being, of consciousness, into the action of your body. Well, I want to live more of a happy life, and I know what happy means, but it's the state of consciousness, the way that happiness can vibrate as an energy and a feeling within the body. Bend into the right knee, hands and palms down. Let's sweep the right leg all the way toward the sky, three-legged dog. Challenge yourselves with the balance. Bend the right knee and big circles out wide to the right in the air. Big circles the opposite direction. Last one here, see if you can float the right knee toward the right elbow. And you come forward enough until the shoulders are over the hands and the wrists. Extend the right leg up toward the sky, foot comes down to the floor, cycle through vinyasa or take child's pose. Inhale, left leg up toward the sky. Exhale, place the foot forward. Come on to fingertips of the right hand now, and then inhale the left arm up toward the sky. Good. Steadfast, strong through your back right leg, pushing through the heel enough that it actually lifts the right hamstring just a little higher. That's it. Nice long breath into the body. Breathing consciously here. Better, more living consciously in this moment for all that this pose can be for you. Exhale, slowly left arm down to floor. Excellent pace. Start straightening the left leg out. Maybe the back right knee bends a little. Bow over the left shin. 2 more times. Inhale, bend the left knee. Exhale, straightening the legs, bowing over that left side. 1 more time. We'll find a little more lengthy hold onto this left side here. Go ahead and straighten the legs, soften the mind, the crown of the head toward the earth, and take lots of breath here. It's really easy to do the practice and just allow the time to go by. I'm waiting for Shavasana, I can't wait for this pose, etc., etc. And to let the mind do its thing at wanting to move at a fast pace. But if we can take a moment to heed back in time, be with the body for this moment, and everything this moment is consciously. My toes are wide, my legs are extended. What is it that is in the happening of your body here at this time? Bend the left knee, hands and palms down. Work it sweeping the left leg up toward the sky as best as you can, three-legged. Bend the left knee, big circles in the air with your left knee. Circle the other way if you haven't already. Bring awareness into your core, belly tones, and then sweep the left knee close to the left elbow. Inhale, left leg draws up to sky. Good balance. Float the toes to the floor and cycle through one vinyasa. Knees down to the earth and wide. Arms reaching forward, lower the elbows down, bring the hands and palms into prayer, and then rest the thumbs in behind the nape of the neck, elbows reaching more forwardly. Use this variation of child's pose to really weight the third eye or the forehead toward your mat. And it can really bring this grounding tone to your brain and your mind. Acknowledge the state of the body here in terms of energy. Call upon your intention and how you aim to elevate your consciousness as a being in vibration, in form. Please take your time, slowly unfold, undo the arms. Tuck your toes underneath, and then bring the knees down to the mat like all fours. Yeah, that's good. And then let them elevate 1 inch from the ground. Notice the weight dispersion between hands and feet and try to allow it to be equal and shared. Take one more breath, really connecting to the core, and then elevate the hips nice and high, walk it back, down dog. Bring big toes together to touch. Bend the knees perhaps. Take that big leap of faith forward and hop on up to the top. Inhale, rise, halfway lift. Exhale, seated chair. So from the side perspective, you want to allow your knees to be fully supported with the feet's end. So when you look down, you should be able to see your toes ahead of the knees. So I'm really going to shift my sits bones back. You'll create the quality in your core by lifting the torso up, meanwhile keeping the hips back, and then celebrating your strength in your stance with arms well wide. Really exaggerate it. Reach out, grab out, and then just feel life literally right at your fingertips. Deep breath in is here. Exhale, soften, surrender, let it go. Inhale, rise, halfway lift. Exhale, fold on in and down. Let's take our hands in behind the backs of the calves, the legs. If the fingertips are really close to the heels, you can take a variation where you lightly step on the heels. If they're not, use your palms right up in there to massage the backs of the calves. Take a few breaths and just notice the feeling in your body for what is occurring in the muscles physically. What is happening as you stretch and bring more physical space within your body. Inhale, release, rise, come all the way up to stand. Exhale, hands and palms together, center chest, Samasthiti.
in Sanskrit, our term for being able to hold a steadiness that is created from within, that is a harmony with mind and body together. Recall your intention and slowly lean weight into your right leg. And you can either today, hands on hips, pose for tree pose, so the sole of the foot against the right side. If you're into a little bit more opening into the hip and your knee is okay in deep flexion, then you can cross the left ankle over the right thigh and just lightly carry the foot with the right hand. And then your variation might be the left arm in behind is going to grab for the forearm of the right. You can allow that knee to descend, opening the hip. Either that or coming into tree, hands and palms in prayer. Lovely. A few deep breaths, discovering the consciousness of physical balance. Noticing the role of your standing foot and your spread toes to really connect with the earth. The state of your mind in a way of just letting go of the pressure of having to balance, but knowing that it is here. Bring your hands to your hips if not already. Turn the left knee to point to the front and raise it. Let's bring our hands up. Big inhale breath, little core here, sorry, belly toning in and up. Hands move to the outside of the left hip and thigh. And you're going to work your way to turn your heart toward your left hip. Keep pushing down through the right of the heel and the toes, standing nice and tall. And while you have your hands on your hips, just a couple more breaths, drop that left hip down slightly. Inhale to twist, unwind. Exhale to place the left foot to the floor, rest arms by your side, and acknowledge the state of the body from the right leg to the left, from the right arm to the left, and from the energy that surrounds your body to the energy that exists within your body here. What might your cells be vibrating at as a frequency now? Are you living consciously? Are you living the best version of yourself that you could be? And can you continue to enhance this conscious connection through the practice? Big cleansing inhale, breath up, doing amazing. I can feel good vibes even through the screen. Hands and palms together, center chest. Weight transfer into your left. So you're either going to take tree position or a single leg crossing over on top, and just be mindful of your knee. Make good choices that are safe for your body, but that also encourage and stir a challenge to pull in that sense of conscious being. That's it, really good. Take your time. Standing from the ground up and being able to raise our energy as we come up nice and tall. From here, hands to hips. Right knee, foot comes off the leg and turns forward in direction. Good. Inhale your energy, reach up. That's it. Exhale, start to turn and twist. You got it. To the right, hands come to the outer right hip and thigh. And just do a little showing of your heart to the right side there. Shoulders pouring back. Deep breath in. Stay for your exhale. One more cycle. You're going to inhale to unwind so the belly fills up, untwisted. Arms reach up, feet to floor, arms by your side. Settle into your cells, samastitihi, and breath. Inhale, stretch, reach up. Exhale, bow, forward fold.
Inhale, rise, halfway lift, lengthening the spine, tail to crown. Exhale, fold, place the hands and palms, and step back to downward dog. If there's too much weight on your shoulders and your wrists here, you can always take a knee down. We're going to go with the single-legged right leg raised up to sky, three-legged dog here, or from all fours here. Work at bringing the knee to the right elbow, so you're here, knee down, or you're raised up. Swing the knee over to the left elbow. Swing the knee back to the right elbow. And then to center, like you're going to bring your nose close to your knee. Use that element of connection and place your right foot in between the hands. Nice job. Left heel lowers down to the earth, warrior two. That's it. Nice. So unless you have sensations of high or low blood pressure, and see if you can come up and just arrive in the stance without letting your body hesitate the action. And so it becomes more of an energy or a vibration of steadiness, of discipline and commitment, because that's a lot of what this intention in this position of warrior two can offer. We'll see if you can breathe into that now, maybe a different tone and vibration. Bend your right elbow and lower the forearm down to the thigh, and then extend the left arm over your ear. Bicep close toward the ear, but also just letting there be space along the neckline. Do the same with the right shoulder, because sometimes it sneaks in and we just want to get a little complacent on that side. So you're really push down, activate, enhance, enliven the whole body here as you open yourself to conscious form and breath. Deep breath in. I'm going to give you some options. So if this feels okay, you're going to stay. Just really work on opening the hips to the left side of your mat. Number two, you can bring a hand down on the outside of your right foot, extended side angle. Number three, you can move the right arm to the inseam of the right thigh and use the left arm back of the hand to either clasp onto the hip or to meet the low spine. If you want to take a bind, the hands might find each other. And then lastly, if you want a little bit more core, you're going to extend both arms out and hover your torso off the thigh. Make your choices and start to feed the conscious body with breath. That's it. Nice challenges all the way around. And we're not forcing, we're not trying to make our body hang on to anything. We want to pull ourselves out of stagnation. So getting away from where we feel or think is really comfortable and what we always do, to stepping deeper into ourselves and being able to surpass some of those barriers. That's it. Slow rise, inhale coming through, warrior two. Settle with a deep breath in and then let go of the energy through the exhale. Anything you don't need, expelled out the fingers and the arms. Turn right palm toward the sky, spread the fingers wide, and take the palm physically to the back of the head. Now bring your left hand right into the crease of your right shoulder and the neckline. You're going to do yourself a favor and just acknowledge the space that you can create by pushing the shoulder down a little and letting this area of the trapped shoulder stay nice and relaxed. Then from here, maybe the left arm takes the support of the elbow and the tricep and starts to just gently float it toward an upward direction. If the shoulder is compromising and starting to lift up, do the same thing, self-adjust. Push with the left arm down and then pull up or push back with the right arm and elbow. That's it. Once you feel those two areas are quite steady in place or not clouding around the neckline, take your left hand, back of the left hand, move it in toward the low spine, and use the connection of your sacrum and your low back pressing against one another to lift the heart up now in your position. Changing that very subtlety of energy. Bringing more conscious attention to the center of your being. Inhale, slowly unwind, unfold the arms, still in warrior two. We're going to cartwheel down, but just the right hand. So let's rest our left hand on our hip. So one single arm cartwheel down. Right hand to the outside of the right foot into the floor. If the floor is a far distance away, take a block, a bottle, a book, or something to elevate the height. Heel to left leg in more closely. So notice how my right knee stays bent. I'm really going to plunge the weight into the right leg by keeping the knee bent, stepping forward slowly, and then activating heel and toe and pushing down to the earth as I extend the leg to straight. Arm can move up toward the sky if you like as a variation with your left arm. Last breath here. Exhale, turn your fingertips down to the earth. Land your left foot close beside your right, waving the spine up halfway. Exhale, hands and palms down to your mat. Step back down, dog or child's pose. Give yourself a moment, 5 breaths. Nice complete breath in. And a nice full breath through. Come forward to high plank, pause. Lower the knees down and then come onto your forearms and elbows. We're going to take the purpose of this position to drive our attention into the places in our physical body where we feel some of that tension, that challenge. And then I'm going to get you to hold it there, and then we'll journey into a little different direction. So the knees can be off the earth or down, you decide, but the shoulders have to be underneath or on top of the elbows for support. Now it's easy to acknowledge the place in your body where you're feeling the most of that tension and strength. And I want you to send an awareness to that opposing part of your body that feels really easy, that's really light. And from the lightness and the energy there, start to balance the conscious form of your body in terms of where you feel the most tension and the strength to some of the lightness and the ease. Last 5 seconds. Release the knees down, sweep the heart forward through Sphinx pose. Lower chest and heart, hands slide underneath the shoulders, press back, child's pose. You can keep your arms straight in that form if you like that alternate variation with hands behind the back of the head and elbows bent. Was there something just now that passed through your mind in conscious thought? It's so easy to let our minds get going, and our minds are really good at that. It helps us gather and move toward what we need to do. But it's a way of bringing balance back. And so if we can say to ourselves, living more consciously, elevating my vibration and energy in order to acquire or in order to be everything that I can be in this lifetime, can be so much more serving. Just take your time and rise to downward dog. Now, knowing that you are a conscious being in human form, raise your left leg up toward the sky like you mean it. Nice. Float the left knee toward the left elbow. Inhale, left leg up toward the sky. Float the left knee to the right elbow. We're going to swing it back to the left. And then to center, core still on board, and place your left foot in between the hands. Well done. Right heel rolls down to the earth. Rise on up, press down through your legs. There we go. And now you're here. Determined, disciplined, because you care about your being. You care about your life. And because you're the one that gets to live it, you might as well resonate at a high vibration and start living your best life the way that you want to. Bend the left elbow, lower the forearm down to the thigh, extend the right arm up and over, side angle position. We're going to declutter a little around the neckline so the shoulders both draw back and the heart can carry more openly. And then make your choices, and likely they'll be the same variations that you did on the other side to keep balanced. Just a reminder, hand down,
Maybe taking a bind and feeling the hands behind your back body, or going for that hover and hold, a little bit more connection to your torso, your core. Can you let yourself lean back with a little bit of courage, with a knowing that you can't see what's behind you and you might fall a little? That's going to assist you when we go into the next pose. Be here now with that state and sensation. Elevating your consciousness as to now without judgment. Nice. Inhale, rise, come through, come on up. Good. Please turn your left palm to face the ceiling, fingers wide, and then take the palm to the back of the head. We'll do the same self-adjustment here, so the right fingertips are going to come toward the shoulder, just helping that shoulder soften. Why? Because this is an area that we hold and carry a lot of tension. You know that with physical stress. When we're scared, we tend to protect and lift up. So just acknowledge, okay, how much tension am I feeling there? And how can I use the shape to draw the tension away? From hand to shoulder on the right side to maybe hand to tricep and elbow, we're going to push back, lift up, and then draw down. Elbow generally pointing upward, but it's certainly going to be your preference as to how much and where you feel the stretch in your tricep. That feels a-okay in the shoulder and the elbow. Neckline has space. You're going to bring the right arm in behind your back body. Connect the back of the hand to low spine and sacrum. That's it, you got it. And then start to lift up. And as you lift up, then start to breathe your energy up. Raising your heart up. Raising your vibration up. Let's take a last breath here together. Inhale. And exhale, undo, unwind our arms. Come through warrior two. Right hand rests on the hip. Lower left hand down to the floor, just alongside your left toes. Heel toe the back foot in a little closer. And then maybe come to step into that left leg for half moon. Hips are turning. Right arm maybe extends up toward the sky. So remember that little feeling of leaning back. Well, this time you're just on one leg, but you're going to do it and you're going to try it and you're going to breathe into it anyways. Lean back with your heart. And see if not to turn your gaze, that's it, up toward your top hand. Bringing conscious attention to what is above you as well. So good. And then slowly release, come back down to the earth with your foot, your feet, your hands. Bow your head into that humble stance, forward fold. And gently rise, halfway lift. Exhale, folding in and down. Please take Malasana squat and settling the back in this position, furthermore opening the hips and inner thighs. Nice wide stance with the legs. Toes spread wide, getting nice and earthy with the pushing down. And you're going to prayer your hands together. Little lift of the heart toward your thumbs and sternum bone. Gaze and drishti either fully closed or across the tip of your nose. Bringing that conscious attention and awareness to sensation and experience in your body. Stay with me on this one. Bring your hands down to your mat, still in squat position. Lean more weight into the fingertips. Your index fingers are parallel to one another like train tracks. When they're laid down to the earth, there's a little squeezing in of the pads of the hands. Let your right knee come toward the back of the arm, lifting off the heel, and then teeter-totter over to the left knee to the back of the arm, and then come back off. You can stay there and just practice, bringing more of a connection of the knees and the backs of the arms together. If you feel you have both of the knees to the backs of the arms, then you're going to shift your heart forward, look ahead of you there lightly, and then practice the tipping or the leaning, tiptoeing
of one foot and then the other, walking crow position. If you feel you have awareness with the walking crow, then you're going to keep that form of leaning your heart forward, gaze forward, and then both of the feet and the toes might take off at the same time. And if they do, encourage yourself to bring the big toes together to touch until you feel that conscious way of balancing that energy of finding your center point of gravity. That's it. Amazing. Last breath wherever you are in experience and discovery. Lower down, child's pose. As you're in this position of physical rest, notice the form and the name, child's pose. Call back the innocence and the energy of this into your body, knowing that there's no expectation or force to have to do anything, and also being able to remember that great state of play. We say that kids have a lot of energy, and sure, they do. They're young and they haven't maybe explored a lot of experiences as adults in terms of time, but they're also vibrating at a very high state of consciousness. I like to think of the body as when we feel tension or recreate tension in our body is just a dormant state of that area, and that area could even be the mind. And so if we bring conscious attention there, if we shine a light toward those aspects of our being and form to our mind, then we start to create these moments of enlightenment where the whole being is a complete light within itself. And so here you are in the present time, fully awake in the now. So be awake more than you ever have before. Stay low to the earth. If you want another vinyasa, absolutely go ahead. You'll go through downward dog and then take your flow. If you're ready for your hip stretch, we're going to stamp the right leg wide to our right hand to start with lizard. And I'll give you the option to stretch your quad too at the same time. So the right leg is wide, the right foot is at an angle about 45 degrees. So I'm tipping the toes outwardly. Left knee can remain down for now. And the position of our hands go steady underneath our shoulders. They might even bend as you lower down to the earth if you like, onto your forearms and your elbows to rest, such as so. If you're looking for a bit more space today for your hip flexor and your quad, you might take your soft foam block. If you don't have one, fold your mat in. Give your knee some support, and then you might start bending the back of the knee. You might feel enough of a quad stretch there. If you need just a little more, then your left arm is going to go wide. Your right arm is going to reach back for the outsides of the toes on your left foot. You're going to gently clasp the foot, but keep engaged as you flex the quad and kick it back into your palm. Let's take an inhale breath and come back through center. Right foot, heel, toes across your body to the left for pigeon. If you enjoy another favorite hip opener, you can take that. You want to ensure that because our body's weight is coming downward, we don't want that weight to be on the knee at all. So if you're not sure, it'll be safer if you just flip over onto your back, take the weight off the knee, and cross one ankle over the thigh and thread the needle or figure four. If you know your own body, that the knee is not bearing weight, and yep, this is okay, no pain, no tension, then keep activating the legs to really ensure that there's no downward pressure on that joint. Squeezing the legs can help. Using the hands for balance can help. And then focusing your mind quite actively on this pose. It's a lot of work that is happening here for sure, but every single cell is now alive and on board with you and how you're directing the energy. Breathing to that state, that quality of being that you desire to live with. It's quite metaphorical, but it's also quite literal, is that I hope that we don't wish to live in a state of darkness, of gloominess and gray. We want to live with light, physically in terms of the weight in our body, and with a brilliance as well, illuminating quality. Take your time and slowly come out of your variation. Definitely use the hands to share some of the weight and support as you come out of your pose. If it's through downward dog and you'd like to flow, please go for it. If you're ready to get into the other side, the other leg, it'll be the left leg in front, so the left leg is wide to the left. The foot is angled at 45 degrees, so if this is my sole foot, I'm pointing the toes out. Yeah, that's great. Knee can come down if you'd like. Hands under shoulders, option. Forearms and elbows, option. Taking that quadricep stretch, bending the right knee, also an option. Rising up and out and coming toward your hip stretch of choice, whether that be pigeon or lying down on your back. Slowly prepare with the left side leg. Taking caution that no pressure or pain is being caused, especially onto the knees. Nice, sweet, deep breaths into your body. I went for a jog the other day and the state of my energy almost felt quite euphoric, and as I started to become aware of my surroundings and what I was passing, I noticed a small puppy, just fully innocent, live with joy. And if you've ever seen a puppy before, they're just playful in their paws, and their kind of gait is staggered all over the place, and it's really innocent and fun to observe. And then I passed a street performer who was playing a saxophone, and it was interesting, and maybe I could have assumed wrong, but it looked like another homeless person had given the street performer change. And I was like, wow, somebody that maybe barely has anything is still offering their support and giving to another human being. And it was just the most amazing thing to be aware of the energy and the vibrations that were happening around me. And it made me think a little bit more about, again, how we're living on this universe very and quite so collectively. We may not interact with one another directly one-on-one, but we certainly create impacts that affect one another
and the greater part of the world and the universe as a whole. So if you can consider that you are a part of this energy and this universe, then why wouldn't you want to live and vibrate at a higher quality of vibration in your life? Deep breath in, full breath through. Take your time, walk your hands up, come to seated, do what is the most comfortable for you. We'll return to seated and we'll descend to the floor slowly with just the last little bit of core connection. So from seated, knees bent, start with your hands underneath your knees and thighs so that there's support for your back. And you'll be able to gauge right away, am I feeling this in my back, or am I truly getting into my core and the connection of my abdominals? So keep the hands there, start to recline back a little amount, and do assess whether you're feeling, I'm right on my tailbone, or are you just on your sits bones in support? There shouldn't be any pain in your spine whatsoever. And then keep letting yourself recline back enough until you find your sweet spot. And that sweet spot might be a physical place in your body where you're kind of physically vibrating and trembling with your muscle. And I want you to see if you can stay there for 5 breaths. So you find your sweet spot. Keep the hands here or don't if you don't need them. If you don't need the hands and you're not finding your sweet spot still, raise the legs, toes together. That's it. Hold for your 5 breaths and then you can recover all the way down lying on your back. Lift the heart. Keep counting, stay committed, be true to your cycles of breath. And once you're done through your 5 breaths, you can come to lie down, all good. Knees, thighs into chest, rock side to side. Cross your right ankle over your left, but just for the twist. Heel toe your left foot to the left of your mat. And then slowly bring your knees to the right. Now, if you're feeling anything in the knees or something's not good in your back, then just slide your right foot off the thigh and let the knees stack one on top of the other. If it's feeling okay, keep this position. Cactus the arms, 90 degrees, bending at the elbows, the shoulders are toward the wrist. And your gaze in turn, if your knees are correctly facing the right, then you're going to gaze toward the left in opposition. And that completes just the twist and the rotation of the whole spine, all the way top to bottom. Nice weaving breaths into your spine, twisted form and shape, conscious attention. Perhaps even visualizing the breath go into the body in a more detailed fashion. Right foot slides off the thigh. If not already, bring the knees back to center, pause. Feel the balance underneath your hips, and then other side. Left ankle crosses over right. Right foot, heel toes to the right, knees gently come down to the left, and your hands can stay in that cactus form, gazing to the right hand side. Inhaling completely, exhaling completely. Carefully slide the left foot off your thigh. Bring the knees back to center.
And then lift the knees into chest, wrap your arms around the legs. If it's okay for your neck and your spine, you might wish to bring the forehead closer to the knees, further flexing, further rounding your back, if that feels nice. Little rock side to side, maybe adding some movement. We're gonna squeeze, hold, and compress the energy toward the body in order to expand, release, and let go for Shavasana. So let's squeeze, hold, draw in, but don't hold the breath for 5. Keep breathing though, but squeezing the muscles. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Expand yourself into the space. Open the extremities wide, long below you and in beside you for Shavasana.
So here, giving yourself permission to completely rest. As you allow your body to feel heavy and calm, create a state of relaxation by balancing the tone of your breathing with your inhale and your exhale. Enjoy your time of rest. You are human. And you have this great gift called consciousness. May you acknowledge this light that exists within your being from the very and true center of you. Keep creating these awakenings in your body, not only now as you start to stir movement with your hands and your toes, but when you leave your mat tonight, roll it up and start walking back into the rest of your life and your journey. Create the motions that make sense for you now to slowly move your body, regain connection to your surroundings. You'll take your time and then meeting into fetal position, bending your knees and resting on your right hand side. The same question as we began your practice, with perhaps a different state of energy in your mind and in your body. Are you living consciously in your life? Acknowledging what you've created and knowing that you can now be and live with this high vibration, intending for everything that you need and desire to come your way now. Rise slowly to seated, and we'll finish together in our class with the chant, the hum, and the tone of a single Om. As you're ready, please fold your hands and palms to heart center. Take a cleansing breath by breathing in through the nose